Imagine falling asleep while the temperature outside drops below freezing. There is no insulated house, no sealed window, no heated mattress, no weather forecast warning you that the coldest part of the night is still coming. You have a shallow shelter, a few animal hides, and a fire that may be running out of wood. If the wind changes, if the fire dies, or if your coverings become wet, your body can begin losing heat faster than it can replace it. So how did ancient humans survive freezing nights? The first thing to understand is that there was no single ancient human lifestyle. Humans lived across different continents, climates, and time periods. Many never experienced snow, but others expanded into cold parts of Europe and Asia, surviving winters and glacial environments that could become brutally cold after sunset. And they did not survive because of one magical invention. They survived by building layers of protection. The first layer was location. Sleeping in the open exposed the body to wind, rain, snow, and cold ground. So a good sleeping place could mean the difference between discomfort and death. Caves, rock shelters, valleys protected from strong wind, and shelters made from branches, hides, or other materials could reduce exposure. A shelter did not need to feel warm like a modern home. Simply stopping the wind could slow the loss of body heat. But caves were not automatically perfect. Some were damp. Some trapped smoke. Some were occupied by dangerous animals. And some were colder than the air outside. Ancient humans had to choose carefully. Then came fire. By at least hundreds of thousands of years ago, some human groups were repeatedly using controlled hearths. A fire could warm the people closest to it, dry wet materials, provide light, and make a dark shelter feel less dangerous. But a fire was not a modern heating system. Its warmth reached only a limited area. It produced smoke, could go out, and keeping it alive required fuel. That meant collecting wood before darkness, protecting the flame from wind, and possibly waking during the night to add more fuel. The fire did not protect people automatically. People had to protect the fire. The next problem was the ground. Even inside a shelter, sleeping directly on cold stone or soil could pull heat away from the body. Archaeologists at Border Cave in South Africa found grass bedding at least 200,000 years old. People placed layers of plant material on the ground, creating a surface for sleeping and working. That bedding was not a luxury mattress, but it separated the body from cold, dirty ground. In colder regions, layers of grass, branches, hides, or fur could have created insulation beneath the body as well as above it. Then there was clothing. Animal skins do not survive well in the archaeological record, so we cannot reconstruct the first cold weather outfits with certainty. Later humans used bone awls and needles to make increasingly fitted garments. A loose hide can block some wind, but fitted layers protect the arms, legs, hands, and neck much more effectively. This probably became extremely important when humans moved into severe cold. But clothing alone was not enough. Cold survival also required food. The body needs energy to produce heat. Shivering burns energy. Walking through snow burns energy. Collecting wood burns energy. A hungry person becomes colder and weaker more quickly. Fat-rich foods, meat, marrow, cooked plants, and whatever other calories were available could become especially valuable during cold periods. And then there was the human body itself. Neanderthals, for example, had relatively short, broad bodies and shorter lower arms and legs. That body shape reduced the amount of surface area exposed to the cold and helped retain heat. But even a cold-adapted body could not survive an exposed freezing night without help. The most important layer may have been the group. Archaeology cannot show us exactly who slept beside whom. But people living around shared hearths could gather close together, especially children, infants, and vulnerable adults. Bodies produce heat. Animal hides trap heat. A sheltered group around a fire creates a warmer microenvironment than one person sleeping alone. Not everyone necessarily slept in exactly the same way or at exactly the same time. Someone may have awakened to feed the fire. Someone may have noticed the wind changing. Someone may have pulled a covering over a child. Someone may have realized that another person was becoming dangerously cold. Survival depended on noticing problems before they became fatal. That is the real secret. Ancient humans did not defeat freezing nights with fire alone, or clothing alone, or strong bodies alone. They combined shelter, fire, bedding, coverings, food, planning, and cooperation. Each layer reduced the danger a little more. And each layer could fail. The fire could die. The hides could become wet. The shelter could fill with smoke. Food could run out. A storm could become worse than expected. Freezing nights were still dangerous, especially for babies, injured people, older adults, or anyone already weak from hunger or illness. But humans had something most animals did not possess in the same way: the ability to accumulate solutions and teach them to others. Where to build the shelter, which materials blocked wind, how to preserve a flame, how to prepare bedding, how to shape hides, how much fuel a night might require. No single person had to rediscover everything from the beginning. Knowledge could pass from one generation to the next. So when we imagine ancient humans surviving a freezing night, we should not picture one fearless caveman standing alone against a snowstorm. We should picture a group, a shelter facing away from the wind, layers beneath their bodies, hides wrapped around them, food already eaten, wood stacked near the fire, and people staying close enough to notice when something went wrong. The cold was stronger than any one human, but the group was more adaptable than the cold. Before central heating, insulated walls, and modern winter clothing, surviving the night was not about comfort. It was about building enough small protections that morning could arrive before the cold one.